Alright, so what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be setting up the files I need for texturing, mainly texturing, and some other stuff later down the line. Um, so first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to wherever your drives are, wherever your hard drive is, etc., etc. You'll see your main drive, or if you have a second drive, you'll see a P drive in there. Obviously, you'll need to mount that, and you should have did that at the beginning of the tutorial by going to there and mounting your drive. So once you do that, you should see a P there now. For the most part, all you need to do is create a folder inside of there. Name it whatever you want. Just make sure it's something you want, because later on down the line you can change it, but it's going to be a little difficult because you're going to need to change a lot of stuff, a lot of texture directories and whatnot. And you really just want to get around that and basically thinking of a name that you're going to want later down the line as well. So once you do have a name, I just created a simple name right here. For you, just create whatever name you want. So basically inside that, you're going to have a data folder and a scripts folder. The scripts folder you don't necessarily need unless you're going to be doing doors. I'm doing doors, so basically, really, you can name whatever you want. It doesn't really matter what you name it. So for easiness, I just do scripts and data. Your data folder is where you're going to put all your textures in. So we're going there. So basically, you're going to see 4 different textures in here, excluding the RV mat. We'll talk about that later. So you'll have the 2 PNGs and the 2 PAs. So the PAs are basically what the Arma 3 engine reads. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, how do you make the PA? How do you turn a PNG into PA? So it's quite simple. Basically, in your Arma 3 tools, you'll see this program right here called TextView 2. You just open that. Basically take whatever PNG that you want, and you just drag it in there. That's all you need to do. You'll see it in there, and you just save it. You just save it as PAA. That's all you need to do. Then you do the same. I have a normal map, so I already have it saved. I'm not going to save it again, but basically the same thing. And then you can just delete your PNGs. So basically you have your images ready to be selected and applied within the engine. So the RV mat. Digging into this is a lot. RV mats, there's many different ways that RV mats are done, how different people do them. Personally, I just do basic normal map, RV mat. The best place to find these, you can make them. You could find them in your Arma 3 files, really anywhere. But I'll leave one available for download as well, that you can use. So we'll just, anyway, get to the next part. Alright, so we're gonna just do some basic, really basic texturing. Really simple stuff. This is just basic stuff, and this is probably the best way to start out at. Alright, so, how we're gonna texture this box. It's gonna be really easy to texture because it's just a box. We want to select the faces that we want to texture. To do that, we're going to go over here to the touch faces selection. We're going to click that, and we're going to go over here and we're going to select all our faces. As well, if you want to view like the sides and stuff, like if you see the if you don't, you'll see this. You'll see this first, and you basically can't see much. You just go over here and you select that, and it'll give you that, and you can see everything. So you'll just select your faces you want. So we're gonna select all these lovely faces. Alright, so I'm thinking that's good. So we're going to go over to our front view, because that's where, you know, we're facing. We're facing the front. You can see the left, you can see the top, so basically we're going to front, because this is the front. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the little, like, green triangle looking thing with the eye, but this is how we put our, we'll apply textures to our face. So you'll see texture and material. This is for your RV mats, this is for your texture. So we'll do texture, and we'll go to our P drive. Hold on, I got an easier way to do this. Fuck. Alright, anyway. We'll go down to... Where's it at? I got a lot of stuff on my P drive, so it's really pain in the ass to file. Okay, there it is. Anyway, so we'll go over to our texture. First, you won't see anything, because for some reason it does this. You just go select the drop down to go to PAA. You'll see your texture. We'll select our main texture, not our normal map. So that's our main texture. Alright, so here is... I don't know how to start. You know, we'll just do this. We'll just apply that. Alright, so once we applied that, you're gonna want to select your front view. You're gonna want to click that little UV thing up here. And sometimes it does that, and you have to go over here, and you need to like maximize that. Sometimes it does that, not all the time. So once you're in your UV editor, you're gonna go over to here. You want to select the texture you just applied. So there's my texture selected. Alright, so I have my selection here, right? I have everything selected. I have my faces selected that I want to texture. And I have my front view selected. Make sure you have your front view selected to whatever faces, well, whatever direction the faces are facing. Let's say if I have these selected on the sides, you want to do the left view. If I have the bottom and top selected, you want to do top view. Alright, so we're going to front view. And in your UV editor, you're going to click this little green thing, planner mapping, and boom, you got your face in here. So what you gonna do now is you want to texture this however you want, however big you want, just however you want it. For the sake of this, I'm just gonna do something basic. So to like expand it without distorting the texture itself, you hold Control and you select the corner, and it basically expands it without distorting anything or messing up the textures itself. And then boom, you have your texture there. So if you see it changed that right there because it redid that. So if we open up our model viewer, you'll see we applied a texture on the wall. And if this is too big or too small, just go jump into the UV editor, size it to however you want, it'll change. Let's say you want it really big, you can have it really big. It's really simple. Honestly, it's not very hard at all. We'll just go back here. But yeah, that's all you do for that. So now we'll go and select these sides over here. Doop, 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 doop. Alright, so we have these sides, but these are on the left and right side. So we're going to select our left view for this, to texture this. Same deal, hit your UV. Nope, we forgot to actually apply the textures. So you want to apply the textures first to the face. So we applied our textures. We're good to go. We're good to put these textures, we'll, UV map it. So we're going to go back to the UV editor. If it wants to open again. This is what it does. You already have the texture. If it's a different texture, you'll just see it in there. If you have a different texture for it, it'll be in there. You just select it. Simple as that. But same dealio. Hit that. Sometimes it might select stuff that is on the other face. Just Control Shift, then that deselects that. Okay, simple as that. So what you want to do here is you want to get as close as you can and match these up. And you're going to want to expand it and match it as best as you can with the other wall. There's other ways to UV map. You can UV map in 3ds or Blender. I just prefer to do it this way. I don't know. It's really all depending on on how you want to do it. But this is just how you map. So basically, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty accurate. Actually, I think I could fix that a bit more. Or you could just deselect it and select it, but I mean, you could Control Shift as well. You want to try to get it as accurate as possible without, because if not, it'll look a little weird. So we're gonna do that. So that's way too off. All right, so. That's good. That's good. That'll work. All right, so in here now, if I deselect all of that, you'll see it's mapped the entire thing, and that's pretty dead on, I would say, for the corners. Sometimes it may be a little funky, but yeah. So obviously this is my shitty modeling skills right here, so don't worry about that. So yeah, fucking textured. Okay, so now applying an RV mat. So once you have your RV mat you want, and I can't really show how to make an RV mat because there's a lot to it. Best thing to do is just play around with it, or just not use one. I mean, you don't necessarily need an RV mat, especially to start out with. I didn't use RV mats to start out with. If you're gonna start out making buildings and stuff, and it's your first time, you really don't need to do this. But I'm gonna do it for the sake of the tutorial. Anyway, so I'm gonna select everything with Control A. Go over here. I'm going to go over to our material. I'm going to select our brick wall and apply that. Alright, so if you see now, it kind of added a little bumpiness to it, a little bit of a shine to it. Like I said, you don't necessarily need an RV mat, but it's always good to have. That's because I selected everything, so you probably don't want to select everything and apply an RV mat. Just when you apply your main textures, when you make your selections, just make sure you add in the material as well while you add in the actual image, or else you'll just select everything and you'll get stuff where it shouldn't be. But yeah, that's an RV mat. There's not really much to it. But yeah. Anyway, so next we're gonna be setting up some selections. One selection. Yeah. Okay. So another thing before I end this video and start the next one. Because it's getting on to 30 minutes now, 20 minutes, something like that. So I'm just gonna do another video. Once you have, your stuff set up and everything, your texture is selected and finished, you're gonna want to navigate over to here, your current model. Want to hit that little plus button, and you want to select your textures and your materials. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna control and double click on this. It'll select basically all the textures that are applied to this, well, all the faces that are applied to this texture. We go over here, and you need to. I do this at the end of when I'm done, but you remove the P, the directory, because if not, you will be the only person to be able to see these textures if you give it to somebody else, or if you don't have your P drive mounted, you won't be able to see it. So you remove the P, and that's it. It's all you need to do. And you do the same thing for the RV mat. I have 2 RV mats there for some reason. Oh, that's because I did that. Because I had all the RV mats like on my main texture, and I did that for there, and it did it for this as well. But sometimes you'll still have to do it for another one. So just remove the P. There's another way to do this too if you don't want to do that. So you go over to tools, and you get a mask texture and material renaming. You click on that. You find your material, whatever texture or RV mat you have. So let me do this real quick. Brick wall. Let me add the P back. We'll add the P back. Come back, P. I need you in my life. All right. So yeah, it's here. All you have to do, select that, copy it, paste it. You're good to go. I probably should have started out with that. That was a lot easier. Just do that. All right. I'll see you in the next video.